sure we protect each other's mental space. If you ever need me, just call. I'ma come running, give it my all. Love is love, God wins. Keep your vibrations high and watch how your blessings. Why do you deny me? You chose the lie created for you just to hide in. Why obsessed about surviving? Fighting over creation made for all to thrive in. When love speaks, you say you're listening. I wonder if you hear me. Love is love, love is love. Always is, always was, will always be just love. Always complete, always enough. Love is love, love is love. Always is, always was, will always be just love. Always complete, always enough. Love is love. Was your heart ever my home? So cold that chaos sits on your throne. Stuck in a loop for how long? Your pride convinced the right is wrong. When I speak, you say you're listening. When will you ever hear me? Love is love, love is love. Always is, always was, will always be just love. Always complete, always enough. Love is love, love is love. Always is, always was, will always be just love. Always complete, always enough. Love is love. Was your heart ever my home? So cold that chaos sits on your throne. Stuck in a loop for how long?
Hope everybody's doing great out there. Hope you're feeling great, doing
When
great.
I speak, you say you're listening.
A lot of crazy things going on in the world. You gotta be paying attention. Ducking them.
Always is, always was, will always be just love. Always complete, always enough. Love is love, love is love. Always is, always was, will always be just love. Always complete, always enough. Love is love.
Let me see if they'll tell me about entities.
Why do you deny me? You chose the lie created for you just to hide in. Why
Really?
obsessed about
Nah.
surviving?
You won't go into that?
Fighting over creation made for all to thrive in. When love speaks, you say you're listening. I wonder
I want
if
to
you
break down
hear
these
me.
parasites. I don't think people realize that we possibly have parasites inside of us telling us what to do. This is where those patterns come in that I speak about. Paying attention to them patterns, victimizing consciousness, right? We're watching this level of consciousness take place right now. This goal of invaded entities, the Lyran Wars. That's what we're watching right now take place. The Lyran Gates. This is what we have to understand. I think we have to understand this. Listen to it and then tell me if I'm right.
Enemy patterning is an archetypal filter used in the victim victimizer mind control programming that is directly related to a point in time where consciousness first experienced extreme death trauma in the grand polarity experiment that happened after the Lyran Wars, that lead to the result of the many galactic wars that contain the hidden histories of human holocaust, which reverberated throughout the entire universal time matrix. The wars and genocidal campaigns generated damage in the consciousness matrix that then became the seed of the enemy patterning, which continued the reenactments of the same Holocaust histories on the Earth through mind control. Mutated polarity consciousness, victim
Happening
victimizing.
right now.
The goal of the invading entities which brought on the Lyran Wars was to destroy access between the Universal Gates, Lyran Gates, and Andromeda, to prevent any metaterrestrial founder races from gaining access into the Milky Way system, and preventing the future seedings and incarnations of the Christos founder race's DNA. But soon the Lyran Wars spread to the constellation of Orion and through the metagalactic core, where it became a war with those who wanted to dominate others in this system based upon the victim-victimizer fear-based mindsets. This can also be called archetypal enemy patterning. Entities with the service to self ideology were attempting to enslave or eliminate those who followed the law of one, with the ideology of service to others that held love-based mindsets. 1.
See? So you watching this take place right now. You might not recognize it. You might not, might not be able to pinpoint it, but it's within the patterns. These are enemy patterns, right? These are their patterns. You watch them go after the people who try to put out truth. You watch them tarnish and tear down the names of victims, right? You're watching this victim victimizing software take place right now in humankind. In humankind, we are watching victim victimizing software. People are going to say, oh, this is a form of mind control. This is MK Ultra, so on and so forth. But it could be bigger than that. This could have something to do with our DNA. This could have something to do with all of that, right? Let's go into the law of one and the service to others, right? The service to others. This is what people are taking advantage of right now, right? Because some of us know that we have to put kindness above all. And some of us know that the law of one is a service to others, right? So we practice this law of one, which is a servitude to other people. And people take advantage of this kindness. People will take this kindness for weakness. So when you're operating with a service to others, people will take this for weakness. So you'll run across a lot of different people who seem to be using other people in order to get where they want to go, or so on and so forth. But your job is to remain with the oneness, right? Remind yourself that the service to others is serving you, right? So you got to practice the right relationship towards others, so on and so forth. But people are playing psychological war games now. So people are trying to mess with other people's mind, cohortions of the heart. You'll see more of these operations. People pretending like they align with you, like they're going the same place, like they have the same ideas, right? But really, this is just to get you baited in to feed their goal. Let's take a listen.
Right relationship towards others as self. When we find ourselves uncomfortable with the actions of others, we can relieve ourselves by remembering to cultivate the right attitude towards self. The law of one is the universal truth that all is one. Thus, one who practices this understanding of the law of one acts and makes decisions based upon his or her awareness that every action has a consequence to the self and to others. Furthermore, one who exemplifies the law of one understands that when one person suffers, all people suffer, whether they realize it or not. As one self God's self, to be compassion in action towards others is then to be in harmony and right relationship to self. 1. The basic principles of service to others include: individuals perceive the connection of love in all things and give unconditional love and compassion towards others. Individuals are dedicated to their spiritual
Push
consciousness
people out
growth
the
and
room,
to help
push people
others
in
in
the
their
room.
spiritual development. Individuals are dedicated to transforming negative ego thoughts through developing GSF behavior modeling. Individuals share information and knowledge with others as open source in unified cooperation. Individuals have a complete lack of concern for satisfying their materialistic ego needs or satisfying drives of the houses of ego. Individuals acknowledge that every person is a spiritual being on their own personal path of spiritual growth and discovery. Individuals are committed to experiencing a shared positive reality of world humanism with others on the earth.
You see that? A shared positive reality. That means we are shaping our world. We are shaping this into this evilness that we see today. We are shaping our reality into fear, into sex, into lust, into greed, into gluttony. We are shaping this. We see more of this in the world because more of this is on the minds of the multitude. The collective is put like it's fear that's pumped into the collective mind. So collectively, this fear is pumped out. This fear is pumped out collectively. This is why you have to practice these things. These things are supposed to be practiced down there. The service to others. That's part of the law of oneness, right? Realizing that we're in this together, so on and so forth.
Law of 1. Service to others. Practice 5. Service to others. Upon firmly loving yourself and honoring your path, find methods to be of service to others that do not overstep personal boundaries of discernment. Being of service to others does not include consumptive modeling, such as victim-victimizer, parasitism, or emotional vampirism. Being of service does not hold an ego perspective of entitlement, expectation, or attachment. Practice being of service with unconditional love, and naturally flowing in the moment. The energy exchange made between participants being of service to others amplifies and expands consciousness growth like no other method. The more you amplify the energetic field of being in service to others, the more joy, harmony, and gifts will be brought into your life.
You hear that?
The more service you dedicate to God's plan, the law of 1, the more spiritual support and spiritual presence one can exchange with God force.
You hear that?
1 service. There is but one service. The law of 1. The offering of self to be of service to the God Creator is the greatest service, the unity, the fountainhead of all things which spring forth. The being who seeks to be at one with God is with infinite intelligence and eternal nature. From this purpose, from this offering, a great multiplicity of opportunities will evolve depending upon the light body spiritual purpose and the body's, mind, emotional and spiritual along with the miasma or karmic, ancestral imprints. These combined distortions are in regard to the various illusions of separation and the various multidimensional identities that exist throughout the various timelines of one's time-space illusion. The virtue gained from dedicated alignment to serve our highest expression in God is to receive the blessings from the spirit of peace. 2.
See? Now, once we start getting enough people in the Discord, once we start actually pushing towards this, and it's happening now. Maybe we're not in the right algorithm or in the right collective, but more people from that oneness collective, that service to others collective, more people from that will attract themselves to you, or you will attract more people from that like-minded collective, right? So as you grow in your collective mind, you'll start, more people of that same like-mindedness will gather to you, but you got to be willing to let go to people that have a service to self. There's a lot of people on this planet that has a service to self, but when you start serving others and have that law of oneness effect, right, you'll start pulling more people that have a service to others, right? This is part of the ascension cycle, everything like that, but you got to be willing to let go those that don't belong to you or those that are not for you, right? And that's where the hard part comes in. The hard part comes with letting go things that not belong to you, right? That's where because we're creatures of habit. So we'll stay in the habit of holding on to these things that don't belong to us, right? And we're all going through this, tribulation, whatever you want to call it, This is something that we're all going through. This happens throughout the history of this world, right? Personal Christ identity. If you're looking at it, it says personal Christ identities 144, 144. And then it says the second astrological procession is 288. Look at the numbers going up, right? Personal Christ, right? So the numbers are going up for the personal Christ, right? The 144,000. But as you can see, these numbers are going up. As the planetary time cycle changes, the personal Christ identity changes also. So you'll have a 12 identity stations, which is 12 within inside 12, right? 144. And then you'll have 24, right? Which is 288. Then you'll have 36, which is 432. And you'll have 48, right? So these numbers are changing because this is the identity stations, right? So as you move to these identity stations, so shall your personal Christ identity change. So your personal Christ identity is changing as you move through the dimensions of your identity stations, right? Now, once you're moving through the identity stations, you'll have to deal with more stuff from these different fragments. This is the return of ancient, and so this is that. These fragments, they're in our DNA. You don't know what time you're going to have to deal with these things.
Return of the Ancient of all Ancients. During the last weeks of aggressive interdimensional spiritual warfare, a very firm and resolute message was received from the Emerald Guardians that this phase of the cosmic energy cycle heralds the triumphant return of the Ancient of all Ancients, 2024, from the first creation of the Cosmic Father matrices that is bringing the Cosmic Father's Ruby Templar into spiritually marry with the Emerald Order Templar.
A lot of people feel this happening right now. A lot of people know this is happening right now and feel this happening right now. Grand Rising. A lot of people feel and know this to be happening right now, right? They feel this return of Christ energy. They feel this, whether you're blaming it on your sleep, whether you're blaming it on the government, whether you're blaming it on the solar flares, whether you're blaming it on just change within inside yourself. A lot of people feel this happening right now. They feel a shift taking place right now. They're having elusive dreamings. Some people who haven't dreamed in over 15 plus years are now having vivid dreams, right? This is happening right now, whether it's in a sleep state, whatever state is happening in, it's happening right now. It's happening right now.
Father Ruby's Sun Network that originally created the spiritual solar father principle in the Eye of God or the Godhead Ruby Ray capstones located in the parallel father universes, is a significant and historical occasion that is delineated by the completion of the evolutionary rounds through the astrological ages that unite the triune of universes merging into the universal ascension cycle. 2.
All right, so this is why we try to break down the DNA and the fire letters that's in your DNA, so on and so forth. These fire letters are awakening with the solar flares. So you might not know what's going on, but the fire letters are awakening with these solar flares. So as these solar flares come in 3 o'clock in the morning, 2 o'clock in the morning, whatever, right? Here in the US, North America, it's awakening the fire letters that is inside our bodies. And it's happening, it's happening mainly in North America. It's affecting the people that is in the land of North America. It is affecting them. X marks the spot. It literally told y'all when the next person was going to be, or personas, whatever you want to call it. It gave them a specific location on the map based off of the Jonas Wills, based off of X marking the spot, based off of every conspiracy that they told us and every story that they told us, right? We watched as above, so below. We watched what took place above actually take place below. And now we're in the greatest time ever, which is the Aquarius sky and the transfer that's taking place in this sky right now. The ascension gate is open. Our spirit can ascend back to the, planes from which it came, which goes back to the star seeds, right? Now, a lot of people came into this understanding of star seeds, right? For some reason, it was like everybody knew that they were going to create a fight against woke society, right? So everybody start like it was like star seeds and light seeds popped up in 2023. Well, actually 2020, around 2020, all these star seeds and light seeds popped up. Everybody was like, oh, I belong to a star family. It was a collective mindset. It wasn't people. I want you to think about this. This wasn't people that was studying star seeds and light seeds. These people didn't even know what star seeds or light seeds was until this conscious woke up inside of them, and they were like, man, I'm a star child, I'm a star seed, so on and so forth, right? This is what's it's telling y'all exactly what time we in. It's telling y'all exactly what's happening. We don't have to, tell y'all anything. It's showing y'all, right? Psychological and spiritual warfare is taking place. When you start seeing star seeds and light seeds, that means the fight for our consciousness is really upon us. And we don't see it. We caught up with the money magic that they're using. A lot of people are caught up with the money magic. A lot of people are caught up in the illusion of the reality that they're selling us, right? But right now, a shift is taking place. And a lot of star seeds, light seeds, they're all waking up. They're all waking up right now.
During this end evolution cycle that leads into the current ascension timeline, many different variations of soul spirit consciousness from a vast array of planets, galaxies, and universes have joined the reincarnation cycle on 3D planet Earth. Some are biologically organic future humans while others are not. Yet, all have come in order to experience the shifting consciousness fields on the 3D planet Earth at this end cycle. These particular groups of soul spirit beings that have incarnated in a 3D human body are referred to as starseeds. Even though starseeds hold more genetic memory from these future stations of identity, all is one and valued in its connection to the eternal source creator. Starseeds have specific roles and a humanitarian spiritual mission based on the law of one to help free the planetary soul from spiritual and energetic oppression enforced by the NAA through the false father god religions.
You might not even know
This
you're a
is to
star
elevate
seed.
and change destructive timelines through genetic rehabilitation and erase negative.
Listen to me. You might not even know that you're a star seed until this fire code awakens in your DNA. Until this fire code awakens in your DNA, you might not even know that you're a star seed. During the spiritual ascension process, these different versions of yourself will awaken in your DNA. It's when you're reaching the higher half of yourself, when you are searching. Everybody already is in recognition of the demonic entities that can take place down here. We all say it unknowingly. We say it. We'll be like, the devil made me do it, or get behind me, Satan, or whatever you say. You'll know when a devilish or a lower entity is, commandeering your vessel, right? But we get all scary when these higher entities, recognize us and say, this vessel, that vessel, or whatever. So when the angelic versions of yourself start awakening, when these higher versions of yourself start awakening, it's a scary thing. It's like the Titans, the story of the Titans, but it's taking place inside your body.
Negative alien mind control software programs. These software program religions were put in place by the patriarchal dominate negative aliens in order to be worshipped as gods and easily enforce the enslavement of the planetary population. Starseeds entered this planetary consciousness body to experience reincarnation and activate their spiritual mission for a wide variety of reasons and interests. The primary goal was to re-establish the potential freedom from forced reincarnation through the restoration of the cosmic sovereign law of one through the reclamation of the Christos body crystal template. In order to do so, the negative alien agenda of planetary domination, enslavement, hybridization, and abduction would have to be eventually revealed to humanity. However, the extraterrestrial agenda and the history of extraterrestrial genetic influence in both everyday human events and the many historical records have been extinguished in every way possible. Both benevolent and malevolent extraterrestrials have been involved with this planet for millions of years, and they have never left this planet. This was known on planet until the last 5,500 years, when most of this knowledge and its written history were destroyed. See the
Listen to what it's saying.
Galactic Wars. Only the reptilian bloodline manipulated humans were given this knowledge in secret to maintain their position for power and control. They are ultimately puppets for off-planet controllers that sold out the human race. History is rewritten by the victor of war, and hence, the real extraterrestrial agenda is hidden while a false record of human history is put into its place.
Now, I want y'all to think about that. How many of y'all hear about the reptilians? How many of y'all, have heard stories of the reptilians and so on and so forth, but really you never could quite put your finger on what they were talking about when they were talking about, alien implants or the reptilian DNA, whatever you want to call it. How many of us, they painted stories like the reptilians was the white people. That's the YT people. Oh, you can see that they're reptilian. No, that is wrong. That is falsified. Okay? That is falsified. These are entities. These are, they are inside of all of us, fighting for different variations of positioning to take over the consciousness of mankind. It's never been a fight for our bodies, for our physical, right? Remember, the flesh is weak. No one's going to fight for something that is weak, right? The fight has always been on our consciousness or against consciousness. That's what the mission has always been about. Consciousness, right? Now, some star seeds have awakened in the vessels of some of us, right? And then some are not in the vessels, but they're still down here helping, right? So right now you have a spiritual awakening going on, but if the world that we live in is against that spiritual awakening, then you won't see it. Does that make sense? Does that make sense? You won't see it. You won't see that is in this world, right? You won't see that. You won't see the star seeds and stuff that's in this world. You'll see the fight that they're going through, but even that will become complicated for you. When you watching a star seed go through a fight down here or so on and so forth, that's going to become complicated to you because you're not going to understand exactly what that star seed is fighting off because you haven't, realized within inside yourself what it is that's going on, right? No one wants to recognize lust within inside their self. No one wants to recognize greed, gluttony, jealousy, envy, all of these things that is within inside of us. No one wants to recognize these things to say that they exist within inside of us. And the only way you can actually start, getting help or controlling these of which is inside of you is to actually recognize that they exist first. But a lot of humankind denies the existing of these things because they later changed these things to like feelings and emotions and so on and so forth. So because of that right there, we now think that this is a feeling or an emotion instead of an entity. Uh, so it's kind of hard for us to fight it off because we already attach this as like an entity of ourselves, however you want to look at it. Let me refresh real quick. But that's why I say, like, I already know this stuff. I've just been trying to find a way to
Many
explain it to
starseeds were
people.
aware of a psycho-spiritual warfare between extraterrestrial races and came to this planet as embodied human intelligence portals to feed back to the overall group effort in its reconnaissance mission back to their home planet or universe. However,
Imagine. Mm.
when most got here, they were subjected to the many alien implants, mind control systems, dark force infiltration and victim-victimizer software like all human beings. For those reasons many still remain asleep or subverted to the fact of their real spiritual mission and consciousness. However, it has been generally understood that during the end cycle the neutron window is opening between this third-dimensional planet Earth which intersects with the universal transharmonic gateways. The transgate timelines are that which allow these starseeds to reconnect and return to their home frequency after this tour of duty. For starseeds, this lifetime is a recon mission that was required to gather the intel required to comprehend the levels of genetic damage, the source of planetary invasion, the identity of the main intruder races, an attempt to offer sovereignty and freedom to the souls which had been enslaved, abused and entrapped in repeated reincarnation cycles. One of the primary issues is the horrifying violation of the human soul from negative alien abduction, satanic ritual abuse SRA, soul body siphoning, sexual mutilation, cloning replicant bodies, and using living human bodies, sperm and ovum to genetically farm human and ET hybrid bodies. Many starseeds have come to this planet to research, collect intel to source hybridization agendas and observe the alien abduction and contactee phenomena on planet. In most all cases the direct abduction or contact experience is required in order to collect the information and return it back through the neutron window to the guardian crystal host races. The crystal star family is a guardian race that has intervened with this planet to help heal and free the soul entrapment and bodily imprisonment the NAA have extracted upon the human population of Earth. 1, 2.
Oh, can you guys imagine that? Can you guys imagine being the person that remembers that task, that remembers that we supposed to be down here unifying the consciousness, that remember we supposed to be reminding each other of the discipline that we should have over the flesh, right? Imagine being the person or personas that come to that level of understanding with inside the vessel and then trying to help other people understand that version of themselves. Imagine being that person. Can you imagine how many people will come against you down here on this plane of existence? Can you imagine how many people will, try to belittle you, derail you. Can you imagine? There will be so many people that was trying to stop you from getting that knowledge out there. There will be so many people. Why? Because they'll be in the operation of the lower version of themselves. You know? They will already be in the operation of the lower version of themselves. That's why I say, you know, this variation of manipulation is taking place on everywhere. It's taking place everywhere. You know? I'm telling y'all, when you open your eyes, when you pay attention to it, you can't go back. You can't go back. Some of y'all that's been over here listening to me talk, you guys can't go back now. Some of y'all that's been absorbing this knowledge that we've been embarking on, you can't go back. We have reached that point of no return. You know, we really reached that point of no return where it's like the knowledge that's been given out, you can now see it in the world. So now you can't deny that you see it in the world.
Get back to yourself. Get back to yourself. Nah. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Every thought sensor. They don't like it when we speak. When we beat, they're living under pressure. It's not a life for the weak or the meek. Gotta rise that temperature. It's real cold in these streets. Bring the heat. A spiritual venture. Gotta watch who you greet, who you meet. You know you do right, so they tell you you're wrong. Put up a fight, they don't like that you're strong. Crave that control, so they string you along. Catch a break, that shit's prolonged. When you know you don't belong, so it's back to the same old con. With a song, bringing facts, so they want you gone. Get back to yourself. Why you tryna please these thieves? They don't wish you well. They don't wish you well. Take and throw it in your face like a show and tell. Swimming in a world of snakes. Open gate to hell as they yell. Get back to yourself. Get back to yourself. Talk that talk, walk that walk. Represent for the flock, time weighing like a boat of tick-tock. No promise, no hope, no joy from the clock. Just annoyance when they circle and they watch on top. Ooh, that can never be I. Set the mindset of a guy who believes in the lie. Got no feelings, can't cry. Hand over your money as you watch them feast with the beast. And how dare you reap a reward. Stay poor, stay lured, stay quiet, stay normal. Now's not the time to give in or give up. Can't blame their way when you find yourself stuck. Don't be surprised when they show you fake love, and that's a message from the God above. The real ruler, millimeter, taking shots, aiming for your bluff. You don't like it, oh well, tough. Suck it up, get back to yourself. Why you tryna please these thieves? They don't wish you well. They don't wish you well. Then throw it in your face like a show and tell. Swimming in the world of snakes. Open gate to hell as they yell. Get back to yourself. Get back to yourself. King of wands, use your freedom as a pawn. Not too fond of any bond. The grass ain't greener when it comes to your lawn. Shit ain't brighter when it comes to your dawn. They wanna make it rain, leave no rainbow for your pain. They wanna pick your brain just to call you insane. All aboard the ego train, they can't move, stuck in chains, detained, trapped in a game. Cameras, they stalk you, you know you can't hide. Stick to yourself if you can't choose a side. Get you some sense and let go of your pride. Say goodbye to the old life, cause it died. Get back to yourself. Why you tryna please these thieves? They don't wish you well. They don't wish you well. Take and throw it in your face like it's
No, I'm just saying, like,
swimming in the world of snake. Open gate to hell as they yell.
you gotta really look at it. Like, the world revealed itself to us. Some of us who still have like a moral compass and so on and so forth, we're astonished by this world that's, been revealed to us. We're astonished by it. We might not say it or admit it, but we actually are astonished by this world that we're in right now, because I never thought that people, I never thought people would act the way that they act right now. I never thought I'd see a day where, people don't care or show, the level that's being showed right now of the lack of care, how people don't care about the youth, like all of these different things that we have going on, and nothing is really helping the youth and what's going on in their mind right now. Like, I want y'all to understand that, right? Then you have to get into like what's really going on. Like, there's, frequencies and stuff that's being pushed to the next level, right? And people are not understanding this transfer because we're in that 13th lunar cycle, right? So right now we have something taking place in the minds of the collective. This is in the minds, planetary minds.
Terra
Like,
and Tiamat
listen,
aspects were companions in a binary star system in the higher dimensions. See Tiamati. Binary star systems are common for ascending planets with advanced races. Tiamat's explosion and destruction in the 5D universe, along with the planetary cataclysm of Terra, is the reason our planet Earth descended and has an artificial satellite, which is the Moon. The 5D Earth planet Terra was a sister planet to another 5D planet known as Tiamat, of which her bodily remnants are located in the 5D universe as the asteroid belt that is between the planet bodies known as Mars and Jupiter. The planet Maldek is the counterpart of the bodily remnants of Tiamat in the 3D universe, of which the asteroid belt exists between Mars and Jupiter. This means that the asteroid belt we see in the 3D universe is Maldek's exploded planet, and the asteroid belt in the 5D universe is Tiamat's exploded planetary body. The asteroid belt with its comets move in a retrograde orbit, as does Nibiru. The asteroid belt has remained in the approximate place in the solar system as the former planet, Tiamat in 5D, and Maldek in 3D. Tiamat was essentially the Turan 5D Earth body twin planet, and her consciousness was captured into Phantom Matrix and tethered to the Nibiru planet trajectory in order to stabilize its orbit in our 3D solar system. This Anunnaki alien architecture between Tiamat and Nibiru is called Wormwood, which is used as an ET outpost, and its main structure is attached to planet Earth in the 11th Stargate net in the United Kingdom, Stonehenge area.
So
Nibiru is also called Marduk by the ancient Babylonians. The ascension cycle transpiring on 3D Earth gives us the opportunity to reclaim these 5D fragments and consciousness pieces that were exploded and damaged in these cataclysms and extra-dimensional wars.
So this is where you see this heavy attention from the UK coming from, because it goes back to Wormwood, right? And this is why Zachariah Stitchens told us about the Anunnakis and Anubaru and Tamit and Marduk, because this is what was going on in the 5D Earth. A lot of us that transcended, we don't understand this until we get up there into that collective and these fragments of this consciousness starts playing in our mind, right? And we get interested in different levels of knowledge, right? Some people might have took Alison Crowley Baphomet knowledge and took that and did whatever with it, right? But this is that network, that net that is around us. We put it in the story of Nubaru, right? But it's actually a grid that is under us, right? And this is where the United Kingdom comes in. It tells you the 11th Stargate net in the United Kingdom, Stonehenge area, right? This is Wormwood. This is why you see a lot of UK people interested in what's going on in North America because our lee lines under our earth is awakening. So the people are affecting these lee lines and certain energies, whether it be to, you got to look up like Cleopatra's needle and the manipulation of these lee lines that are under the earth that's connected to different variations of chakra systems that's in the body, as above, so below, as without, so within. So they are manipulating within in order to affect without. It's very complicated to try to explain because there's no real uh variation of knowledge that this is coming into your mind, right? All we trying to do is articulate it for people to understand it the best way that they can, right? So we're articulating this information in various different ways down here right now for people to understand exactly what's going on and the manipulation of your life body, right? So through these, stonehead, checker mutations, so on and so forth, this is why certain variations of people are interested in us, right? This is where the electronical harassment comes in, right? This is where that electronical harassment comes in. Listen to what I'm saying. The Emerald Timekeepers, this is what they're keeping from you right now. Now, listen to this. Loose harvesting. The Muslims will tell you about loose energy, loose. Loosh is loose, right? This is what's taking place in Iraq and Iran right now, right? So they're manipulating this loose energy. This is inside the people. This is inside the people that they are manipulating this, right? And then you see the electronical warfare that's taking place via the internet, right? This is what's taking place right now. Listen.
Lush harvesting at the time large crowds are gathered at Abrahenge or Stonehenge. More specifically, the use of electronic harassment filled with metallic implants for astral bliss on tap with a side of brain fog distraction, and assorted victim-victimizer tagging for ongoing Zeta-related harassment to derail the spiritually minded into spiritual blindness with clone information warfare.
Tell me you don't see that happening right now. One's in the chat if you understand what that is. Electronic harassment, mind control, radio-induced voice, and listen, this is what's happening right now, right? You have the, nanobite technology, allegedly, that's placed inside of vessels. And then you have this, right? Listen.
Electronic harassment is the purported use of electromagnetic waves to harass, terrorize, or mind control a victim. Psychologists have identified evidence of auditory hallucinations, delusional disorders, or other mental illnesses in online communities supporting those who claim to be targeted, individuals suffering from auditory hallucinations, delusional disorders, or other mental illness have claimed that government agents make use of electric fields, microwaves, such as the microwave auditory effect, and radar to transmit sounds and thoughts into their heads, referring to technology that they say can achieve this as voice to skull, or V2K, after an obsolete military designation. 1. In the US, there are people who hear voices in their heads and claim the government is using psychotronic torture, mind control against them, and who campaign to stop the use of alleged psychotronic and other mind control weapons. These campaigns have received some support from public figures, including former U.S. Congressman Dennis Kucinich and former Missouri State Representative Jim Guest. Yale psychiatry professor Ralph Hoffman notes that people often ascribe voices in their heads to external sources such as government harassment, God, and dead relatives, and it can be difficult to persuade them that their belief in an external influence is delusional. Other experts compare these stories to accounts of alien abductions.
So, right now, whether we want to admit it or whatever, we are going through this right now. And if you go back and break down why, if we go back and break down why we're going through this, it's because of this mutation, DNA shift, so on and so forth. So through this identity of collective, this consciousness, this biowave consciousness is being attacked right now through different variations of networks coming from different variations of personas that is trying to paint the image out of the chosen in order to manipulate, right? So this is where this fight, and you see Trump and stuff, they say they're working with the UK, so on and so forth. Now, why? Because of this Stonehenge, because of these energies. This is not about people. People are recycling down here at a abundanceness. They got an overload of people down here. They got enough bodies. Okay? They got enough bodies. Right? So they're manipulating the energies. The energies. Remember, it's energy manipulation.
Approximately 22,000 years ago, the NAA intruder groups targeted the Celtic and Druid lineages for a genocidal campaign on the United Kingdom landmass in order to eradicate the Melchizedek Christos teachings, Atlantean history, and to spread false records about the Celt and Druid lineages. In order to destroy the accurate records of humanity's star origins and historical artifacts, the original ancient Celtic languages that were connected to the original 12 Essene tribes were purposely made extinct or erased in order to remove the living light codes that were inherently spoken and
You don't see
expressed
that
through these
happening now?
logic Grail king lines. See Celtic massacres / Druid sacrifices.
Tell me you don't see that happening now. Tell me you don't see that happening now. How they are trying to destroy certain variations of languages, right? This is why they have language barriers, right? Because there's certain codes that is spoke during certain conversations, unknowingly or knowingly, right? This is why in the UK they have a language, law, right? You can't say certain things, you can't speak of certain things because this is why, right? Whether you want to believe it or not, words are very, very important. When you go back to these languages, you will see why they are very important. When you go back through it, you'll see why they are so important. Right now, you can't see it. Right now, you can't see it. Why? Because they block these things from happening. They block certain variations of conjuring, of conversations. It's becoming more and more evident today why.
Another Guardian bridging project coming to the forefront has been the rehabilitation of the architecture of fallen grids in Asia, feeding a large circuit along false dragon lines back to the United Kingdom. China and Tibet are the original planetary stargate locations for Orion, 8D, and Andromeda, 9D. The Galactic Wars recorded the blood and genetic discrimination, Orion Wars and Draconian history, and their distorted male-female archetypes, Vesica Pisces harness with twin monads splitting, into the Asian grids. These grids have been shown to feed back a massive power structure to the main headquarter reversal hub, the Nephilim Reversal Grid, NRG, which is active in the United Kingdom. In order to dismantle the NRG, the various hubs feeding it from all over the planet need to be dismantled systematically while freeing the soul enslavement used to power these grids. This has been transpiring in the Guardian teams since my awareness of them in 2008-4.
You see? So a lot of people are, recognizing these grids, realizing that, the people that are put in distraught and, fear, so on and so forth, it's feeding these grids from all over the planet. And people are realizing that. And then once people realize that and stop feeding these grids, module grid, bloodline, so on and so forth, right? The energy no longer goes to them, right? So once you realize, like, okay, so we can't feed off of negative energy anymore. It can't operate in this new era, right? People are going to stop feeding those grids. You know what I mean? People are going to stop feeding them grids. Once you realize the effect that it's having on you, once you realize the effect that negative is having on you, so on and so forth, you're going to stop feeding the grid, right? Once a mass amount of the collective stop feeding the grid, right? They can't manipulate this planet anymore. They can't manipulate the direction of this planet anymore. In other words, the planet will change because the collective mindset will change. That's why the Bible says we'll see a new heaven and then a new earth, right? Because heaven is inside of you. So in order for us to see something different on the outside, something dramatically must change on the inside. the knowledge from the Atlantean history, so on and so forth, all of that was lost during this fight. The teachings of Kratos energy, Christ-like energy, all of this stuff was lost, right? And these portals, Egyptian portals, Stargate portals, so on and so forth, was being manipulated after that, right? So now all of this knowledge is being put back on this planet. But the problem with this knowledge being put back on this planet, why would they want the astro workers, the astro plane workers? Why would they want us to awaken? Why would they want us to connect with each other? Why would they want us to put the knowledge back out there? Why would they want that, right? Remember, this is against our consciousness. This fight is against our consciousness. All right. But I got to run out. I got to run somewhere real quick. So we'll come back later and finish this.